Explore Mixed Media. We're continuing our exploration with adding texture to our surfaces without adding a lot of bulk. And so today what we're working on is using thread or yarn as both a design element and giving our artwork some structure. So we're really just going to do a sampler today, not a finished piece of artwork. And as the month progresses, we will bring everything we're doing together into our project. So I have some embroidery thread, I've got some fabric, I've got some natural fiber paper, I've got some lace, and Terry, what do you have that you'll be working with?
I've got some natural fiber papers. I do not have lace. I have lots of different scraps, and I was going to try to incorporate some interesting things like my infamous wallpaper dot thing.
Oh, cool.
I thought that might
Okay.
be something to incorporate in, and some pieces of already painted fibered paper, and see what happens with that. So
Very cool.
I've got lots of things. In fact, I will go
All
down.
right.
Show you
Cameras down.
I have lots of things. So see, I've
Oh,
got
yeah, you do.
all sorts. I don't have your burlap, but I have this lovely piece of paper. Well, you look like you have a lovely
I've
piece
got
of paper
some
like
that's
that
been
too.
painted too. Yeah.
Yeah. So I've got
And I've
some.
got this piece of I think it's Kozo paper.
Yeah, I have a piece of that somewhere. Here it is, very tiny, very tiny. And I've got all sorts of pieces of scraps of beautiful things. And then I've got lots of different, I don't know if you can see them here. I've got lots of different,
Colors? Yeah, I do
those,
too.
that's what I got.
Mine
So,
are more natural colors. These are the colors of my house.
ah, well,
So that's what I have. And so I'm just going to get started. I pulled out just a plain piece of white fabric to use kind of as a base to build off of.
mm-hmm.
Um, and so I thought, today we can do just maybe some running stitch, some seed stitch. Um, I did practice my French knots. Um,
Oh, really good.
yeah, maybe a little bit of herringbone and some chain stitch, but really it's more about adding design and structure than the actual, the stitch we use is just part of the design. So I'm gonna get some paper laid out first to get started. And I'm gonna put some of this natural fiber paper, I think, underneath some fabric strips, and then I'll build from here.
Okay, and I've got this piece of just kind of neutral colored paper
Okay.
cloth, so I'm gonna work a little bit on that. I'm wondering if I need to I have a bigger piece. Let me do the bigger piece. There's my bigger piece of
Then
neutral.
I actually found some pins, like
Wow.
sewing pins. I was like, I
Oh
didn't
my,
think I had them because I thought that they had been borrowed and not returned, but I did find them. So I'm just gonna hold these couple of base layers together, I think.
okay.
Um, and I was watching something last night. I didn't know what the term slow stitching meant.
Mm-hmm.
And I realized it's just hand stitching, and I guess some people find hand stitching kind of a quiet meditative practice.
Mm-hmm.
And so I thought that was interesting. So I'm just going to start by maybe getting another piece in here.
Well, one of the things that I love about fabric is when you can pull it apart and get a little more like texture on it. Like I love
Yes.
this. See, I don't know if you can see the selvaged edge on
Yeah,
mine.
that's wonderful.
So I'm trying to tear this so
Mm-hmm.
that I can end up with kind of this extra but sometimes you get this fiber that just, or this stuff that just doesn't want to tear. And this is one of them, but that's okay. I'm going to keep on working on it. Oh, well, you know what? I got a scrap. And I got a scrappy looking scrap. So I like that.
Okay.
So, you know, sometimes it works better than others. Let me see if it'll work the other way on this one. I really like the super salvaged edge down here, but
Yeah, that's cool.
like
That's nice.
this little thing right here, I adore. It's the
Hmm.
it's when they
The
check
color
their
thing.
colors. Yeah, when they
Yeah.
check their colors when they were doing the, you know, so those little pieces that kind of just become, you can get these scraps that aren't I don't know, they're just, they aren't uh maybe if I cut this way and then I can pull off some stuff and make it more scrappy. So discovering the different things in fabric is also cool. See, like this one will pull, it pulls this, it must be interlocked somehow. But
Yeah.
now
Some of
I'm
them
gonna
are mine are hard to pull the edges
pull
out.
the
And
edges out.
some of them I can get these, I can really um,
Yeah,
get them to fray nicely.
I like the fraying.
That's what I do
I love the fraying. Like I really love this now.
because
So
that adds a lot of texture
it does. It
too.
adds a lot of texture and it adds a lot of interest. And you know, you can kind of pull it over under and do weird things with it. And um, so I'm using mostly colors based off of this kind of piece, this piece here, but then I'm putting
Hmm.
this wild piece in. So we'll see how it works.
Okay.
And I'm going to, because I really thought that this would be a fun thing to add in too
It is.
and
I've
stitch
got this
in.
little circle is going to go here somewhere. And I love this piece of, I've worked on fraying this little piece of
Uh-huh.
burlap, which I like.
Yeah.
And then the other thing I have that I thought I learned about something called a couching stitch, which is really just kind of coming up around something. But I have this piece of paper that I made when I was making tubes of paper to go on some other collage. And I was like,
Mhm.
oh, that could be interesting to that. Or this is a bunch of burlap strands that got glued together and then didn't get used.
Yeah.
That could be interesting to stitch into here too. So um, before I start building too much more, I think I'm going to start some stitching.
Yeah. Stitching is kind of important before we
Yeah.
overbuild. But
Yes. So I'm just using, this is actually a needle. It's really pretty big. I'm using 6 strands of embroidery thread because I want that bulk.
uh-huh.
And in fact, I'm going to cheat here. I don't really want a knot in the back of this. I don't know what I'm going to do with this. So I'm just going to kind of tape my thread down in the back
Oh, well,
instead of
that's
tying a
good.
knot. I mean, you could tie a knot, but and then I'm just going to use, it's hard because I'm left-handed and you have to go backwards. I'm going to have to hold it this way. I think I'm just going to use a herringbone stitch on the edge of here just to demonstrate. And I'm using a thread that is in the opposite part of the color wheel. Well, it's orange and brown. Brown's in the middle of the color wheel. Um, so that you can at least see.
See the thread. Yeah, I'm going to use a purple
Yeah.
thread, a light lilac thread on mine, and it's kind of the opposite of this tan that I have for the background.
Now
So,
let's see if I can remember it. This has to come down and then up. So when I was a kid, I don't know if you had to learn embroidery as a kid.
I did.
And when I was a kid, I can remember my embroidery would get checked on the back to make sure that it was as neat as the front.
Yeah.
I think I did this wrong. Remember this stitch.
Is that the cross
Well,
stitch or the
no,
herringbone?
this was the herringbone and I messed up where I put it down. So I'm going to just come back.
So I also have this problem called age, which means I can't see to get my thread through the,
Oh,
I'm working on it. I used to have this wonderful little tool and I don't have,
uh-huh.
I couldn't find my tool that you just put it in and it threaded it for you. Let me see if I can pull this through. There, I got it pulled through, I think. There I go. I am pulled through, and I don't know how many strands. I think it's 6 too. Okay, so I've got my piece here, and I'm going to cut it off. And I don't care about the back, so I'm going to put a little knot in because I can always remove the knot later.
Yes.
So I'm not going to do the tape.
I, I know I'm not doing this right for the herringbone, but I'm just going to stitch.
Well, what I'm going to do with mine is I'm going to just start kind of over in this edge and see what happens if I just do a little bit of a running stitch to start, which is
Mhm.
pretty simple. It's just run.
Yes.
And so that after I haven't had a needle in my hand forever, the running stitch is really good to remember how to do. Like
Yes.
I've already messed it up because my thread got knotted because I was being too, there I go. I unknotted it. So sometimes it's good to just go slowly. Stitching is such, as you say, the slow stitching. It's very much can be a very meditative process to just
Yes.
get the stitch and pull it up and pull it through. So, and at this point, I am not remembering that I'm affixing stuff to the piece, so I don't really particularly need my fancy stitches because some of this
Right.
isn't even going to show. So that's what I'm doing here. But I want to catch the second piece that I have here in with one of my stitches. So,
And of
and
course,
this
it's
is
always the
where
fun of threading the needle.
right, right. This is where the embroidery hoops really do help.
They do.
And I don't have a big enough one. So at this point, I don't know if anybody can see me. I'm just kind of going through and working slowly, trying to catch this edge, come over here.
I'm trying to stay in the camera myself.
No, I'm not doing really good at staying in the camera. Now I'm going to deliberately, I didn't catch this edge on this piece all the way, so I'm going to pull it off and see if I can get some vagrant threads, because I love just the crazy threads. So
Hmm.
I'm working on
My
that.
crazy threads are coming through as well.
Yeah,
Yeah, so I'm just kind of getting stitches in here because all of a sudden my senior brain has forgotten how to do
that's
that
okay.
one stitch.
And you know
And
what?
so I'm just doing a stitch that feels good.
Right. And there's no having to
Expectation.
do anything.
Right.
I mean, I'm just doing one that it's adding the color in. It's wonky because I
Right.
want it wonky. This is not about having a perfect sampler.
Right.
None of my stuff like this with all of this texture do I really want to be particularly perfect. So I've
Mm-hmm.
got one piece down here, and
Tuck this
then
piece in.
I'm trying to decide whether I want to. I'm not even totally down on this one, but let me get this through a little more. Ouch, that's my finger.
To find a thimble.
Yeah, I actually have this thing from I don't know if you can see it. You put it on your finger, and
Oh
it's
yeah.
for needle felting that I did.
Uh-huh.
I love needle felting too, which I may try some needle felting on this stuff as
Oh,
a
that could be,
final, as a final.
yeah, it's not something I
Yeah.
know how to do.
Well, what would do with needle felting? I can,
Uh-huh.
and I may be able to do a little tiny piece of it right now. Is so what you do is you use a wool of some kind,
Uh-huh.
and it will grab all of you use that as a felter, and you felt it through the fabric so that it will hold. I will actually, after I
So
get
the
this,
wool gets felted through the fabric.
right, the wool gets felted through
Okay.
the fabric, and instead of glue, the actual fabric gets the wool will hold the fabric in place because it it literally goes through all the layers of the fabric. I'll show you in a second because I do have a needle felter here. Okay, so I've got this piece of fabric all down, and I've got this running stitch through it, and I've got
Right.
it connected to this, and now I want to end up using a color from my, let me see. I'm actually gonna put a second piece of something in here. Let's see if this will work. Okay, I'm gonna put a little piece of this right here. And then I'm going to grab a needle felting needle.
Ah, so it's a special needle.
Yeah, it is a special, well, you can use a regular needle, but it
Uh-huh.
takes forever. So this is a needle felter, and it's got these three needles in it. You see
Okay.
these three needles in it?
Yeah.
And so then you have a little tiny piece. See, here's a single needle felter needle.
Okay.
Okay. So then I can take this and I'm going to put it on top of here. And this is just a little piece of styrofoam.
Uh-huh.
So then you find a piece of wool. So I have this, let me see what I have for a piece of wool in this color family. Just right now, I'm going to use this
So is
piece
that
of,
a special kind of wool?
no, any kind of wool, just wool that, this is, yeah, it's for felting. It hasn't been spun yet. So if you
Got
buy
it.
wool for spinning,
Unspun wool. Okay.
unspun wool. And so now I'm pulling it apart. And so this wool is pretty close to the same color as what I've got going here. And so
Mm-hmm.
what I do is I just hold it in one place and I start, and I just push it through. So what happens is
Ah,
that this is going to, on the back side, I'll show you in a second. So this should felt together all of these pieces. Do you see how on the back side it's coming through? So
yes.
now I can pull off if I want, or pull,
Huh.
and it will end up with this beautiful, and I can just keep on working it, and it will, the more you work it, the more it felts in.
Right.
So it'll just kind of become part of this. It's felting all of this stuff in between. I don't think I would recommend felting a piece of paper that's not, this one, I could have done natural paper and I didn't,
Mm-hmm.
but so this plastic paper is trying to tell my needles it doesn't want to felt, but oh, and I didn't, somehow I've got these not, So now that little piece is attached, you see? Trying to
Mm-hmm.
So that is another way of
Oh,
adding, and
that's neat.
see how it's added this little stuff? Now I can either tear this stuff off. I could leave it be. I could, I like what it's doing up there. So maybe I could use that in my embroidery, but you can see through to the other pieces now
He
down.
says, yeah.
And I could, go back in with my other pieces and then go on top of that with embroidery. So that might be what I want to do. I might want to take like these pieces that I felted in. And when you look at the back, you can see they're felted through. They'll hold. This
Mm-hmm.
is not going to fall off. So it's very interesting.
There it is.
So, what am I going to do with this though? So I was going to also just curiously see.
I'm just putting some French knots. Again, it's just a sampler. So just pulling my needle up through, and then I'm going to wrap my thread around a couple of times, which is always a here this way.
So I was
Pull it tight and put it right back down through, very
oh,
close. Hold on to the
wonderful. I
top
love that.
thread. Hold on to the top thread and then just pull it through. And that one didn't work. Okay.
They look like little roses.
They do. They're so cool.
Yeah, I haven't done French knots in years. So
I haven't either.
I'm playing with this little piece that already has these holes through it and just seeing
Mm-hmm.
what happens if I add that. And this one had a little color in it already. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
adding it to the corner and stitching it in by using the holes that are already there.
There. Mm-hmm.
And then I can even take the holes that are already there if I want and use it kind of like as a cross stitch thing. So I could make crosses and different designs. So if I wanted to, I could make a little mini cross stitch in here, but instead I'm just kind of playing with it, pulling it down, I don't know if I'm not very good at sewing in my space.
Right.
I'm not very good at doing that, but let's see what's happening with.
I think my thread's actually too short, and that's the problem I'm having. So let's get rid of this.
Okay, so to make one of those, you go up
Pull up,
and
wrap your thread around the needle a couple of times,
like
and
this,
then push that rosette down.
push the rosette down.
Hold on to the thread at the
Oh,
base of it, and then just pull the needle through the center.
okay, so I did not work. That did not work.
Yeah,
Okay,
that one of mine didn't work. So let's see. I'm gonna pull
up.
pull a piece of thread up. I just have to tape it on the back so it doesn't come through. Because it's faster than tying it on the back. All right. I'm gonna pull it up. I'm gonna take this thread and wrap it around my needle
Okay,
2 or 3 times. I'm gonna hold this tight. See how I'm now holding it tight?
around
It would
here,
be so once you wrap the thread around the needle,
you
so
hold it
wrap your
tight.
thread. I'm down here. My thread's pretty taut. I'm wrapping it around the needle. I know I'm left-handed, so it's backwards for you.
Uh-huh,
All right. So now my thread's around the needle. I'm going to pull it tight,
uh-huh.
and then I'm just going to put my needle back down. I'm holding this part at the base by the needle, and I'm just going to pull this down through and let all that thread slide off the needle. And I have my rosette. Does that work?
No, it just keeps on coming out because I'm doing some, I think I think I'm doing it's interesting. Okay, I'll
All
try
right,
it one more
so
time.
I'm pulling
So
the needle
now
up
I'm going
through,
to, I put the needle through and then I one, two,
and then
three,
you want
four.
to go at least, let me watch you wrap.
I've
You're
got this
wrapping it
wrapped.
around the needle, right? I
Right,
can't,
yeah.
yes, you're not close enough for me to see. So I'm wrapping it around my needle. So this is what
Uh-huh,
I have right now. I've got my thread wrapped around my needle.
right.
I'm going to pull it tight. I'm going to put my needle back down through anywhere is fine. And I'm going to hold on to that little piece of thread at the top by my needle. So my thread's around the needle. I'm holding on to the little piece and then I'm pushing my needle down through it all. And that thread that I wrapped around the needle comes off and there's the rosette.
Okay, so I have to hold that one and push it back. Oh, okay. Oh,
Push
no.
it back through the fabric. All
Back.
right.
Back. I
So
got
pull it
another
up
thread.
through, wrap one, one. I'm going to do it
So
three
I'm
times.
looking really
Two,
stupid, but that's okay.
three.
So now I got to
If
bring,
it keeps coming out, try twisting it maybe, because maybe you're just not three. I'm going to put it down near the original hole next to it and push it down. All
well, and
that thread
as
is
long as I
sliding
don't,
off the needle.
right, as long as I don't pull it really tight, I get
Yeah, you don't want to pull it so
pull it
tight
really,
that it
right,
just comes through. You want
right.
to
That's
leave it.
what
See
I
how
was
it's a
doing.
little loose here?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's
Because
what I,
depending on what fabric you're using, if it's a really loose weave, it could pull all the way through.
right. And I have a fairly loose weave here. So I'm taking this and I'm pulling it through again, holding
Yeah.
this taut, pulling through, coming here and oh, well, that didn't work. Okay, but I got it. I
It,
think I got it.
it,
I think
it does take a little practice.
it does take more than a little practice. And that's okay. I'm not really looking for a rosette here. I was going to try to see what happens if I worked through with some of the a, another papery piece. So I've got this little laddery piece here that I really like. So
Okay.
I was going to put this, I've lost my needle. Oh, let's hope that oh, there it is. Yeah, it's on the bottom. Okay, the back of my sampler does not look perfect, guys. So
Well, mine doesn't either because
I'm going to
I'm into
place,
wabi sabi. There's no perfection here.
me too. So I'm going to just work on getting a little bit of this just placed down here in places and see what happens as a see-through. Interesting. Oh, so I
Okay.
just like the little scraps where it gets really scrappy looking.
Yes. So
I
I'm going to
like,
work on a chain stitch now.
oh,
And
okay.
so um, I started it and then, all right, so the way you do is you put your needle down and come
Uh-huh.
back up and then you wrap your thread around the needle. Okay, so I just have my needle through the fabric. I'm going to wrap my thread around and I'm going to pull my needle through
Wrap
and
your
see how I
thread.
have that stitch.
Yeah, that's a
And
chain.
then I'm going to put my needle back down almost where this is, but on the outside of my chain.
Uh-huh.
And I can just come back through and whoops, I forgot to wrap my thread around. So I'm going to have to pull it through.
So
That's
then
how
you
you
wrap,
fix it. And there's another chain. So that
that,
can add a nice design element too, because that's going to, especially if you don't pull it tight, it's going to make it sit up a little bit.
yes.
You don't pull
Yeah,
it real tight.
mine's
And
sitting up
so,
kind of a little bit.
yeah. So I'm just going to wrap it around and pull it through. And so that can add, I'm just, I'm not trying to make anything here right now, but that can add a nice additional, oh, my light's glaring, additional stitch.
Yep.
So I need to get rid of that
And
glare.
it looks like it's a continual stitch when you do
Yes.
a chain stitch. It's chain stitches I used to do when I was doing embroidery to do the like the stems of a flower.
Oh, yeah.
That's how I would do the stems of the flower when I was younger and I was doing chain stitching. So
Mhm.
you can make, I mean, like that looks like it says L. So I could actually use that and write LOVs. I can write
Sure.
letters with it if I want. But
Yeah.
this one, I'm just going to leave it just like it is. I'm going to have to pull out. So I'm going to have to finish mine. Now, what I usually do for the back is I just tie it
Tie
off
them. Right.
and then I'll cut it. So the strings, the embroidery, because I have 6 or 8, whatever it is,
Right.
things here, I can just cut it off now, and
Yeah.
then that's it.
And because I
So,
taped mine, I can go back and just pull the tape off and tie my strings together. I was just not taking the time to do that while we were doing this.
right, yeah.
So this is one that I played with yesterday.
Oh, wonderful. Yes.
And so I actually followed the pattern in the fabric and did some chain stitch. I did some straight stitch. I did some seed stitching, which is really just straight stitches, all kind of at different angles. And if there's no set pattern, you can put a pattern in.
Uh-huh.
This is when I could remember how to do the herringbone. I did a little bit of cross stitch. I did some of my little um, French knots. I get to a little cross stitch the whole distance. So I was just playing, and this was on a piece of burlap. So I was just playing yesterday with practicing stitches. So guess what? We were actually at time.
Oh, no.
I know that went fast.
That went really
Um,
fast.
so so we can practice our stitching a little bit more off camera, and then next week we're going to start to build on this. And so we've worked with adding our texture last week when we started to add texture by building up off of paper and but keeping it flexible. Now we're adding stitching. And next week, we're going to kind of start to pull it together and create a small mixed media panel, which will have smooth areas, some of those rough areas that we learned how to create last week, raised elements such as our stitching, as well as creating some open breathing space in our artwork. So we'll do something small, 5x5, 6x6, and just start to pull some of this together. And then the week after, you need to gather some twigs and dried seed pods and whatever kind of natural stuff you can find, because we're going to start to figure out what media works best and how to attach some of those unconventional elements.
Oh, cool. That sounds wonderful. I'm looking forward
Yeah,
to it. Thanks for leading,
wonderful.
Maureen. And don't forget that everybody can join our exploremixedmedia.com online. And we have a project every month, and we also have a live. So www.exploremixedmedia.com.
All righty. Very good. Thanks so much, Terry. We'll see everyone next Friday.
Okay.